So Battlefield 6 finally gave us some real official details about what we can expect to see in Season 2. We've gotten a roadmap now, a gameplay trailer, and a full thing of patch notes. The patch notes are pretty long and lengthy. A lot of it is pretty much just kind of bug fixes, adjustments, audio improvements, just kind of things that people have been mentioning about stuff that's broken in the game right now. From what I've been seeing, a lot of the sentiment right now around the state of Battlefield 6 is just not that great, and it looks like there's a couple of reasons why that is, which of course I'll be covering in today's video. But before we do that, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications set to all so you can stay up to date with all of the content here in the channel, and let's just dive right on into it. So first things first, the most important thing that we've gotten now from Battlefield 6 is the roadmap. So the roadmap for Season 2 is kind of what's generated a lot of the recent backlash towards this upcoming season, because as you're gonna see, what we're gonna go through here, it's not a lot of content, and especially since we've gotten a whole month delay for Season 1, and a lot of the player base has kind of dropped off because of boredom and just not actually getting any real content. It's not like Season 2 was the saving kind of grace that people were expecting it to be. There's just really not a lot here, and there's been a lot of just disappointment. Some people are saying it's good, some people are saying it's fine, that people are exaggerating, that Battlefield 6 is good. Well, at its core, I do really enjoy Battlefield 6. I do see that there are some issues in this game right now, from the fact that they've chosen to pursue the live service model and the fact that they're not actually doing it correctly. I think that that's really where the biggest issue is stemming from right now, because as you're going to see in this roadmap, it's really not enough for the kind of game that they're trying to make. The season is split into 3 phases like Season 1 was. In the first phase, which is Extreme Measures, this is going to drop on February 17th, and this is where we're going to get the new map Contaminated, which is a medium-sized map. We've seen the layout now officially. It looks like it's going to be a pretty good map, and I do think that it does have a lot of interesting looking locations. The issue is, once again, this is not a large map, so you're not actually going to get jets on this map. And something that I think is kind of wasted in Battlefield 6 is the fact that even when there are jets on the maps themselves are just not large enough to accommodate those sorts of air vehicles, and so people who actually enjoyed playing aircraft in previous Battlefield titles aren't seeing the exact same level of enjoyment when it comes to Battlefield 6. It just kind of feels like you don't really have much of an opportunity to really experience the full potential of aircraft in Battlefield the way that you could in previous titles. The map looks good, but of course it's not a large map pretty much. And then the limited time modes are VL7 Strike. So this is, according to the patch notes, basically going to be a mode where there's gas strikes and you're going to have to intelligently use gas masks. Otherwise you're going to start kind of hallucinating things that aren't actually there, or your soldier is going to. Now, as a concept, I think it sounds pretty cool, but I'm kind of afraid that it's going to be sort of like the ice lock thing, where it was not really as engaging as you would have expected it to be. It was just kind of like playing normally, and then occasionally you would have to stand next to a barrel of fire. So I don't know how it's actually going to play, but the whole gas mask thing is part of this limited time mode. Then of course there's content for RedSec, which is going to get a new mode for Gauntlet and then a new mode for Battle Royale, and these both kind of seem pretty similar to VL7 Strike with gas. The Gauntlet one is called Altered State and the BR one is called Synthesis. And then there's going to be 2 new vehicles. Technically it's basically just one, but it's the variant. So there's the Little Bird and then the variant, I guess, for Pax Armada called the MH350. While I'm really happy to see the Little Bird, I just kind of wish it was already there at launch, just because obviously everybody really wanted this one, so it just kind of seemed clear that it should have been there in the game. I just feel like one of the issues right now is just the drip feeding of content that's being, you know, kind of pushed out in this game, and the style of their live service model. Just getting like a new vehicle every month or so, and then a map every month or so, and then not getting a map, and it's just the way they're doing it just doesn't feel right. But I'll talk about that in a little more depth later. I just want to go through here what's going to be in the first phase. So we've got the 3 new weapons, which are a DMR, an assault rifle, and a machine gun. And then there are 2 new gadgets, which are the anti-drone gun and then a rocket launcher. So that is the first phase. The second phase of Season 2 is called Nightfall, and this is where we're going to actually get all of that night combat content. We're getting the new map Hagenthal Base, along with the Nightfall limited time event. Then in RedSec, there's going to be a Nightfall mode for Gauntlet, and then Fort Linden for the Battle Royale is getting a new POI POI, which is the Defense Testing Complex 3, and then there's 2 new weapons and 1 new vehicle in the second phase. The 2 new weapons are the new submachine gun, and then the VZ.67 sidearm, and then the new vehicle is the dirt bike. Part of my thoughts on the second phase of Season 2 is that why is the night stuff limited time? I just feel like this would have been really cool if it was more of a permanent addition to the game. Hagenthal Base looks like it's going to be a pretty good map. I don't really have an issue with it as a map, but I just think the timing of it is a little bit difficult because all of the maps in this game so far have been pretty small. The largest we've seen basically is like Blackwell Fields, Eastwood, you know, these medium-sized maps, Maroc Valley. And as much as those maps are fun, not Blackwell Fields of course, but you know, the other ones I mentioned, I just feel like having a really small map now is kind of difficult when people have been asking for a really large map, and Golmud Railway is obviously not in Season 2. Looks like it's going to be a Season 3 thing like I predicted, but you know, it's just a little bit of a tough choice to put 2 not large maps in one season after everybody's been saying that pretty much what they want are better, larger maps. Hagenthal Base does look like it's kind of a Metro and Lockers inspired map, so that might make it actually a lot of fun, but you know, after kind of not having any large maps, the timing is just a bit off pretty much. I'm kind of curious to see how the night stuff is going to work for Battlefield 6 because visibility is a little bit bad in this game, but you know, I'm interested. I think it might be a lot of fun. We'll obviously have to wait and see. I mean, it's not really a lot, right? If you're not playing Red Sec at all, it's basically just a new map, a new event, and then 3 new hardware. That's about it basically, and especially because you're already going to have waited a whole month to get this stuff. So we're going to have 1 map for a whole month, and then we're going to get Hagenthal Base, and then the next month there's no maps. So Hagenthal Base is the second and last map of Season 2, and in the third phase of Season 2, which is called Hunter/Prey, that's going to be on April 14th, there's going to be a new limited time mode called Operation Augur, and I believe this is just operations from previous Battlefield games. Operations just kind of has you go through different maps. Basically, it's an operation, and it looks to me like for Operation Augur, they're going to combine Contaminated and Hagenthal Base together into a singular kind of operation basically, so it's kind of going to have you go through the 2 maps, which does sound pretty cool, but again, why is it limited time? I don't know, because this sounds like it would actually be a pretty good thing to have permanently in the game. I just don't understand what's with all the limited time. I mean, if you don't even get to play it, you basically haven't even gotten any content in Season 2, and so I just feel like operations and the Nightfall stuff, they shouldn't be limited time. I don't really see why they are, because those would be really cool additions to have permanently in the game. I mean, we're already getting all these random modes each season, but if we added stuff that was permanently in the game, then it would make it more justifiable. But right now, okay, you missed the Nightfall stuff. I guess you don't get to use night vision again. I don't really see why that's a thing. Now there's going to be portal updates in Season 2's third phase, which of course is a welcome thing because I've been seeing some pretty cool stuff in Portal lately. I mean, we had that Operation Metro remake. It looks like somebody remade the operations from previous Battlefield games in Portal. There's some really cool stuff in there, and I do like to see the amount of community kind of work. So the portal updates will probably bring in stuff from Contaminated, Hagenthal Base, Nightfall. So maybe we'll actually get some permanent night mode stuff because of Portal if some people make it in Portal. But I just feel like officially there should be a night kind of playlist. I remember back in Modern Warfare 2019, there were permanent night modes or night maps, but I don't know why they won't do that in this game. Then there's going to be a new bonus path for the Battle Pass. The Battle Pass, I saw some of the stuff that's going to be in it, some of the skins and things like that, and they look pretty cool. I think just the one issue is some of them look a little bit too airsofty, if that makes any sense. But I mean, at the end of the day, you can only do so much with these games, so at least they don't look too goofy, especially compared to the Season 1 skins. They at least have a little more of a grounded look. They're still a little tactical, but you know, it's better than what we had in Season 1 in my opinion. But some of the skins I saw from the data mines do not look great, so hopefully the ones I saw from that data mine are not going to be in the game, because some of them look really bad, like exceptionally terrible. Then the new hardware for the third phase is going to be the LTV, which is a new vehicle, and then the machete for a new melee weapon, which this one looks interesting to say the least. But you know, that's kind of the roadmap for Season 2, and personally I just feel that it's not really a lot of content. Most of this is very limited time stuff. Again, the battle passes don't count as content for this kind of a game. It's part of the content, but it's not, or it shouldn't be the main focus of the content. We're getting only 2 maps. Both of them are not large. They look good, but they're just not large. And then basically everything else is limited time. So if you miss it, you miss it. And yeah, of course, people can do it in Portal, but you know, you want to play part of the game. That's part of the content, and part of the live service model is to get content. I don't know why Battlefield kind of has this issue, and it's had it for the last couple of iterations with the live service model. Ever since they dropped the premium style, I feel like they haven't been able to really understand how to implement live service the way other games have. As much as we like to diss on Call of Duty for the decisions that they've made, credit where credit's due. I haven't played Black Ops 7, but I've definitely seen those roadmaps, and they are packed full of stuff. Tons of maps, tons of content. I mean, I'm just saying, when you make a live service game, that is the price that has to be kind of paid in the middle so that you can actually get the person playing to want to buy skins, battle passes. They have to have a reason to actually play the game, not just FOMO limited time stuff. I mean, you need to give permanent things. You need to put a lot into it because that's part of live service. People will get bored. And as we're seeing, there's a lot of competition right now in the industry. Call of Duty's suffering because of it. Now Battlefield is suffering, even though Battlefield was the competition for Call of Duty and they had a running streak basically. They just kind of fumbled it for some reason, but Arc Raiders is definitely taking a lot of the player base from both games. I've been playing it lately. It's a great game in my opinion. It's not for everyone, but I think it's a really good game. Marathon's coming out as well in March, which could also provide competition for Arc Raiders. Now, that one's a little bit more controversial, so to speak. There's a lot of criticism about Marathon, but you know, for the most part, there's just a lot of competition right now. People have other games that they would rather play, and if you can't really keep people's attention in this world when it comes to video games, then it's gonna be a tough time getting people to keep playing. And that's kind of what's happening with Battlefield. I mean, this model might have worked 10 years ago. This amount of content might have worked 10 years ago. Today it doesn't. It's just not enough. So I think that's the problem that's happened here in Season 2. We had a whole month, and I guess that month was for bug fixes and things like that, which you can see from these super long patch notes. And while that's great, you know, that's not really gonna matter to someone if they don't even care for the content, right? So I think this is the issue that's happening right now, but you know, the live service isn't working in Battlefield, and you know, the premium at this point wouldn't work for the player base either. So it's kind of a difficult position. I think one of the EA execs said that they wanted 100 million players or something. You're not really gonna get 100 million with this amount of content, not in any timeline these days. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, how you're feeling about these Season 2 content, the roadmap, those sorts of things. Leave a like, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications set to all so you can stay up to date with all of the content here on the channel. And that's all for today, folks.